Hello, hello. Oh, Diana, I think you're muted.
Now it should work. I was just saying, everyone.
Yeah, hello everyone, and welcome to our Privacy for Web3 Hackathon Grand Finale. Hope
Yay.
everybody is excited as we are. How are you doing, Diana?
I'm doing well, thank you. Just enjoying my brief holiday, and thought I would
Yeah,
call
of course.
say hi to our community.
Thank you for taking the time off your vacation for today. We're happy to have you here with us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, awesome. I think we're gonna have quite a few projects, interesting project presenting today. But okay, maybe an introduction from our side first. I'm Matej, the bean manager at Oasis. You've seen me a lot lately, probably on Twitter. Today with the new haircut, so it's slightly better. And yeah, Diana, a quick intro from your side as well.
Yep, of course. So I'm Diana. I'm the events lead at Oasis. I am not so used to a public-facing role, but here I am today. Super excited about introducing you to all our hackathon winners.
Awesome, thanks, Diana, and we're happy to have you joining us at these live events. Hopefully, you'll join more in the future as well.
Let, let,
And right.
let's see.
Let's see. Okay, cool. So yeah, maybe we can start with how was the hackathon for you? I think this was your first time judging a hackathon, so you can share a little bit. How was it like? Was it overwhelming with the number of applications that we have had? And how to even select the projects to win?
First of all, let me tell you, it was so hard to judge, so hard to choose. So many talented developers submitted applications that were extremely good, use cases that I haven't even thought about, and that I think have the potential of becoming really important pieces of our ecosystem. So yeah, it was a difficult process, but I think in the end, the entire experience was really good for me. I absolutely enjoyed it. How about you, Mate? I know this has been probably your third or your fourth hackathon.
Yeah. I mean, this one I would say was probably the best, just because we now have this privacy for Web3 roadmap ahead of us, and you could really see the focused apps that we're developing with this in mind and how to utilize Sapphire's features, because these are unique features, right? Before the previous hackathons, I would say they were more general crypto, Web3 hackathons with many different applications that can be replicated on other blockchains as well. But here we really, dove deep into what privacy on blockchain can add to the dApps, And same for me. I was surprised with the creativity, the developers shown with dApps, and yeah, it was. We had quite a long session selecting the winners, and it was quite difficult, quite a bit of back and forth between the judges. So yeah, super excited for the following ones as well. Because these this is how it's going to look like. I think it can only get better. This was kind of the first privacy focused one, and can wait to see more of them in the future.
Absolutely, the exact same thing for me. And before we move on to introducing our actual winners, I'm sure everyone is excited to hear from them. But just like quickly going through the numbers, I think that would be nice. For the Privacy for Web3 hackathon, we had around 1,200 submissions, 1,200 participants. Sorry. And those 1,200 participants submitted almost 60 projects, with more than 30 out of those making it into the final stages of the judging process. So I think those numbers speak for themselves. And yeah, I'm going to let you, Mate, take it away, and let's hear from our hackathon winners.
Yeah, I think we're starting with the best applications on Oasis Sapphire. So we'll let Will take it over here. He's gonna speak with Treasure Hunt, and let's hear from Treasure Hunt. How was it for them? Hi, Will. Hi. treasure
Hi,
hunt.
everybody.
Yeah, hi.
How's
Hi.
it going?
I guess.
Yeah, so I'd love to learn more. If you can just explain what treasure hunt is and what you guys did and what you built in the hackathon, that'd be great.
Yeah, sure, sure. So it's like a PvP game where player one, like there's a 8 by 8 grid, and player one hides a treasure on chain, and then the player two has to find the treasure in a limited number of moves. And player one also sets like what is the starting position for player two, and as well as like maximum time which a player one can take. And also there's an option to put a bid, like as in a put a wager on it, bet on it. Like if a player two finds the treasure, then player two wins the bet, or otherwise player one wins the bet. And when the game starts, then player two has to kind of guess a position on grid, like where the treasure is. And when the player two submits that on chain, then the contract will respond in one of the four options. Either like that new position is closer to the treasure, or farther from the treasure, or is at the same distance from the treasure, or is it like at the exact treasure itself. So in this way, like now player two can kind of calculate and guess like what are the places on the grid which are not applicable anymore where the treasure can be, and kind of narrow it down to the exact location. So this keeps on going on till like player two finds the actual treasure, or runs out of moves. And so eventually, like if they run out of moves, then either one of the player wins the bet.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I guess like my head, I think of it as sort of like a battleship type game or something. Anywhere, any sort of game where you sort of have confidential coordinates and it's two people trying to figure out where some I guess the victory parameters
Yes.
are, like whatever that might be. So I guess like a great question I have is like, what inspired you to build this, to participate in the hackathon, and like and your idea for the hackathon?
Yeah, sure. So, like, I have been interested in games for some time now, and I was looking at like fully on-chain Web3 games. Problem with games is like there has to be secret state somewhere which has to be stored, and like most on-chain things, everything is visible. So initially, I thought about using like zk proofs to implement it. But problem with zk proofs is like the flow is not so smooth, because if someone is storing some secret state, there has to be some salt, and then there's a back and forth. So I was searching like what is the best way to kind of implement it. Then I found out Sapphire protocol is there which gives that option to store a secret state. Then I searched about a bit, and I saw like there's a trusted execution there. At the same time, luckily, like this hackathon was also going on, so I thought like this is kind of a best way to quickly implement an idea and see if it works out. And like thankfully it kind of I was able to implement it in the way which I actually thought this should come out as well.
That's awesome. So it worked exactly as you expected. I guess that's like pretty similar. There, you mentioned ZK proofs. I think there's a game called like Dark Forest. Is that
Yes, yes,
correct? So did
yes.
that inspire you a little bit, or was that like part of your design that you were looking to do
Yeah,
with?
yeah. Actually, yes. So initially, I looked at Dark Forest a bit and see how it's working, and but I thought like in my concept it won't work out because there are only like 8 by 8 places. A system can generate 64 hashes and get that like result. So ZK won't work out unless someone is actually giving a secret value to it. So that's where I got stuck, and so I was looking any better way, but thankfully I found Sapphire, so it
That's
actually filled
awesome.
the use case.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. And I guess like a last question before we transition to the next video is, what was your experience like, building in the hackathon? How, like, your expectations going in? Did Sapphire deliver? Was it hard to use? If you're familiar with Solidity in the past, just yeah, like whatever. What was your experience? We'd love to know.
Yeah. So the experience was great in the sense like I like the docs were really well. I went through it, the quick start applications, everything worked perfectly, and setting up was like simple. Like basically, there were no hiccups along the way while looking at all the documentation there. Only issue was from the EVM side, because like I'm coming from a Solana background, so I didn't have that much EVM knowledge. But like if but there was no issues on the Sapphire side, as like in the sense whatever happened on EVM is happening on like on the Sapphire paradigm. So there was no like I heard that there are sometimes EIP issues, some feature is not implemented in some chain, and which is there in Ethereum. So but those kind of issues I didn't face, and so it went on smoothly. Like I didn't need to even put any questions on Discord anywhere. Like everything was available. Even I found there was a game or Wordle game there was example of Wordle game on Sapphire, which was using the same concept like storing a word on chain in a secret state, and which is kind of similar concept what was going on. So yeah, so it was really great working, and that time extension really helped in the end to kind of get the project in. So yeah, it went really well.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad that you had such a great experience, and thank you so much for participating in our hackathon, and building something novel. As you said, like pretty much any game you can think of has like some sort of confidential state, confidential logic, and we've been really excited with what can be done on chain. Like no longer do people have to make this sacrifice of if you want privacy or confidentiality, you have to take it off chain, but then you have to sacrifice sort of like the Web3 decentralized, high integrity, trustless nature that comes with it. So we're really excited about this, and thank you for sort of demoing how that can be done in our hackathon. We now do have a short video from Rose Derby, one of our other winners in the category of Best App on Sapphire. And we're going to take a short time to watch that video now.
Hi guys, my name is Jason from Vietnam. I'm the owner of Privacy4Web3 project, and I'm so happy to be here to celebrate Privacy4Web3 Hackathon winners, and would like to share a little bit my experience during hackathon. Firstly, I would like to briefly introduce the Privacy4Web3 project. It's an on-chain privacy reserve auction platform, allow you to launch secret auction and sell your token NFTs. Currently, the platform offers two core type of auction. The first one is blind auction, type auction where on bidder commit the offer in secret envelope without knowing the bid of other participants, and the highest bid will win the auction. And second one is lottery auction. The type of auction winning bid is determined randomly. When I building project, I also think about the secret market business model. Almost a leading NFT market like OpenSea, Rival, the only spot to tie up auction, Elite and the auction. I think the project will be use more options to sell the assets. And eventually, real assets has been a hot topic recently. When it become popular and trusted by users, the auction platform will be essential. Talking about what motivated me to participate in the hackathon. That's from Dashboard newsletter. I talk a lot as OASIS technology overview and high-level architecture. It's completely different from other competitors in the same field, and I was so curious and wanted to try and experiences. When I building projects, I was so impressed with Sapphire features. It's offer end-to-end encryption, encrypted storage. It's also provide pre-compiler conduct for random generation, keyword generation, signing, and verification. And it's fully compatible with EVM, so developer can port any EVM conduct with no change. And the OSI privacy layer is another great thing. A Russian layer leverage Sapphire to bring privacy to other EVM networks. Besides that, I also face some problem during project development. For example, conduct verification is quite inconvenient. It's not possible to verify using how to, and writing unit tests on OSIS privacy layer is not easy. I didn't find any tutorial to do this. Privacy and safety are most important concern for user. You will see social platform on Web2 like Facebook, Twitter have complete control user data, but Web3 promise data control by community. One of techniques strongly supported by community is zero knowledge. I have worked some smart contract adopt zero knowledge, and the implementation is so complicated. But now we have Sapphire and Oasis privacy layer. It become easier. Not only that, there is a community group has begun developing one thing they believe will be more fully decentralized. Web5. So very interesting thing. So you will see people talking about Web5 a lot in the near future. Finally, I would like to share you the project's future plan. The project is currently just MVP version. The next milestone is a stable version and go live version. So to do that, so many things need to be completed. Uh, Developing mission function, object contract, testing contract, and smart contract to be operable. And the most important thing, contract must be audited by security. And the UI UX also need to be redesigned and improved a lot. Um, because I started creating project myself, it will be difficult for me to continue improve and go live soon. But I think a team about 3 developers should be able to complete this in 2 or 3 months. So it would be great if project to be fun brand to continue development project. That's all. That's all I want to share you guys today. Once again, congratulations, hackers. See you soon.
That's awesome. Yeah. Unfortunately, the Secret Bids team couldn't be here today, but we thank them so much for submitting that video so that everyone can learn a bit more about them, as well as participating in our hackathon, Secret Bids, and the ability to have auctions where you sort of mitigate these risks of the eBay style auctions where everyone can sort of view your bid and then sort of undercut you or front run you. I think that creating like novel approaches to avoid those type of bidding schemes and sort of create a better user experience is all about what Oasis is about. So we thank them for their participation, and we're looking forward to like their future plans. I think next up is Diana, and they're going to be talking about best applications that use the Oasis privacy layer. You're muted, Diana.
I just want to do the introduction here. So the next category that we have is, like Will said, best applications that use the Oasis privacy layer. And I'm happy to invite on stage the developers from Sapphire, Confidential, and Fibarium, along with Mate. I am super excited about it. These are actually two of my favorite projects. So yeah, take it away, guys.
Hello, everyone. Yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Levan. I'm from Fibarium team, and our team took third place in the hackathon. And I want to briefly tell about our project.
Just a quick sec, so we get a quick intro from Sapphire Confidential as well. Hey man, how's it going?
Yeah, hello everyone. Yeah, I've been part of Oasis since the beginning, since the first testnet, and I'm also a validator, and I'm really happy to participate to this hackathon.
Awesome. Yeah, let's do a quick intro of the project, and then we can discuss a little bit, how you utilize OPL, what were the complexities that were, introduced by having a cross-chain application, that utilizes basically Sapphire features through the Oasis privacy layer. So yeah, if you started, you can go, and then we'll hear from Sapphire Confidential. Sapphire Confidential as well. And then yeah, we continue with the discussion. Take away for that.
Yeah, I can tell about my project.
Definitely. Yeah.
Okay. Fibarium is the project that allows securely store private data in blockchain environment and manipulate it, such as giving access to third-party application, Web3 applications through our SDK, JavaScript SDK, and giving access to third-party smart contracts via Zeka proofs. In shortly, user data such as social networks, emails, or some of on-chain metrics can be handled by smart contracts. It's just foreign data to them. And we are building a bridge for this task, like connection user data and decentralized applications. Yeah, it's what we built on this hackathon.
Awesome. Thank you. And Sapphire Confidential, if you can run us through real quick what your project does, and and then we can discuss a little bit more about the intricacies of developing with OPL.
So I really use a feature on Oasis that I really like. It's about creating a private key and storing them within the smart contract. So what I've done, the idea is like you create a wallet, but which is handled by the smart contract. So you can't do everything you want with this wallet. And the idea is being able to exchange value in a confidential way. So you create a wallet, you lock some asset on this wallet, and within the smart contract, in an anonymous way, you can exchange this value with someone else. So for this first version, it's just like Oasis token. And the idea is to do so much more at the end, but so I'm creating a wallet, I'm putting fund, you are creating a wallet, you are putting fund on it. If it's the same amount, we agree and we exchange those two wallets. So the basic things that is do a mixer, so it keep anonymity. So I will use a new wallet that didn't come from my phone, so nobody will be able to link where my phone come from when I'm using them. And that's the basic. And after it can be evolved, but I will talk later on more interesting application on the mixer.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. I really like both applications. You heard Diana, these were her favorites. And just wanted to ask, how do you see, how crucial do you see privacy being cross-chain compatible, and being able to utilize it, not, just natively on that chain? Because we had quite a few discussions with our technical project manager, Harry, last week at Dev Connect in Istanbul, he made a good point when he said, it's privacy doesn't really work if people know you're using private technology, right? Privacy technology, because it kind of defeats the purpose. So I really like here, Sapphire Confidential, where you basically allow to transact privately without anybody connecting you with those addresses, because we need that privacy as you have it in the real world. We need it on blockchain as well, right? And just how do you see things developing here, in terms of why is this crucial to bring cross-chain, and how was the experience developing with OPL, with the added complexity of the messaging bridge? Was there any problems you encountered? How did you approach this? Maybe for Barry, you can start, because I spoke a bit more about your use case, and then Fibani, we can talk later about the personal data on chain as well. Yeah, so Sapphire Confidential, if you can talk us through a little bit, how was the development experience?
So what I've done, I was limited to do cross-chain because I was needed an Oracle. But the idea is not even cross-chain, it's just like managing. So because you create a virtual wallet, it's the Ethereum standard, it can be used on any chain. So it's not stick to Sapphire Confidential, it could be on Ethereum, on Polygon, on any Ethereum Web3 compatible chain. The two things that the wallet need to know, first, he need to know the balance on the wallet. So if it's on Sapphire, he can have access to it directly. If it's on another chain like Ethereum, he will need to go through an Oracle, but I think there are Oracle now popping on Sapphire, so that shouldn't be a problem in the future. And the other is the nonce of the node, because it's a wallet, and not to make it too complex, but the idea is to see if the transaction has been processed, to be able to process the next transaction on this wallet. So these two informations are not so common for Oracle, but that could be added in an easy way to the smart contract. So the idea is, so now you exchange value in an anonymous way within Oasis Sapphire, but that can be port to like Ethereum, and you will be able to exchange value in an anonymous way on Ethereum. And the difference between like zero knowledge proof and stuff like this, that you don't go through the smart contract, so it cannot be tagged that it had been done by for the mixer. Like nobody is really able to see that this has been done in a confidential way.
But this is enabled by the private key storage within the smart contract, right?
Yeah, this is enabled by Sapphire, so we need Sapphire to do it. So you can have like another way just to trigger the transaction, but at the end the transaction are happening on the Ethereum blockchain, but it's impossible to link the transaction on the Ethereum blockchain to the Sapphire smart contract.
Exactly. Thanks for that. And Fibarium, you tackled another very interesting, concept of storing, your personal data on chain, but in private, and you authorize who can view it, when can view it, and can you lead us a little bit through your development experience as well, and how you come up with, this being the project you want to work on for Hackathon.
Yeah, privacy is important part of our project. Before the hackathon, we planned to developed open technology for privacy storing user data inside metadata, NFT metadata inside encrypted data, like with IS encryption. But after this hackathon, we found great technology like OPL is really a game changer for us, and we're planning to use this OPL technology inside our application for uh, storing privacy, for grant permissions for this privacy, and it's a really important brick for us.
Yeah, and we're really happy, that you joined our hackathon. We get quite a similar reaction, once people try to use our tech. Oftentimes the reaction is, "Oh, this is great," and it's very easy to work on because it's EVM. All the tooling is there. So yeah, hope to see much more from you guys in the future as well. Is there maybe any more detailed future plan that you can share with us right now, or is that on the wraps still for your projects?
Yeah, now we're planning to enter in mainnet and collect our first users in project. Yeah, also we're planning to connect several projects to Fibarium SDK. It's different gamify projects, and we're planning to expand our team. We need Solidity developers, QA team. Yes, we're
Great to
growing.
Great to see, and I like it. You're taking a cross chain, so any chain can benefit from the Sapphire features, the privacy Sapphire features. Sapphire Confidential. Any plans from your side for the future?
Yeah, I'm looking at Chainlink Oracle to be able to have this information cross-chain and be able to like just adapt my application to be able to make a confidential transaction on Ethereum as well. So that's what I'm looking at the moment. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, bringing privacy solutions to other ecosystem as well. I think our time is up right now. Any last thoughts from your side before we wrap up this part of the session? Nothing to add. Okay, awesome. We have Diana joining back in. Thank you very much, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
That was really nice. I'm so excited to see everyone talking about their projects. And I wish I would have heard all of these before the judging period, for sure.
Yeah, it would be easier. It would be easier because judging is definitely quite intensive in terms of workload, where you have to go through all the applications, the videos, the demos, and somewhere like this helps out a lot for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And perhaps we can move on to the next category. Initially, the developer from Imperial was supposed to join us, but unfortunately, he doesn't have the best connection right now, so he's having a bit of a hard time. But Will agreed to give a brief overview of his project. So, Will, if you can take it away from here.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is the category of best use of Oasis Sapphire for scaling privacy. So as Diana said, unfortunately, the Imperial team was unable to join us today, but I'll just give a quick overview of what their project was about. So basically, they were working in the account abstraction space. Anyone who's like, following Web3 right now is aware that like account abstraction is pretty hype. So we're excited to see people play with how Sapphire can sort of participate in this trend and add value to the space. For those of you who like not maybe familiar with account abstraction, basically it's this idea of sort of creating like a hybrid smart contract wallets where they both have a private key as well as the ability to have functionality like a smart contract. So for their use case, Imperial built an externally owned account abstraction wallet using TE technology. The Oasis Sapphire TE implementation provided a few security guarantees, namely the data could be made private inside the TE. Data could be encrypted and decrypted end-to-end when communicating with the TE. The data can be signed within the TE confidentially and securely. And then smart contracts could be deployed with in a way that they can control access to all of those features. So using those features, they were able to create an end-to-end encrypted EOA abstraction that allowed for users to provide fine-grained controls over smart contract interactions. A user would provide an address to their owner account address, and then a wallet would be created on their behalf that they could control the permissions of. They could then encrypt a private key and have it decrypted inside the enclave if they wanted to bring their own private key implementation. Once a wallet was established, they could have a few controls that they could set and approve authority for. These controls include a limit to the smart contracts that they could interact with, limit to the frequency of transactions that they interacted with, limits to the amount of funds that could be transferred, and then they could access to the wallet could be granted and revoked by the owner at any time, and then access to the wallet could be transferred to a new owner at any time. So this was really exciting. I think that this is a massive for the EOA space, especially for things like how do you create confidential trading strategies, or how do you sort of create a wallet that allows automation in DeFi or in other Web3 sectors, where the person can just set it up and then know that it runs the way that they intended for it to run, and that they can't get all of their sort of liquidity, or like some mistake can't be made that they don't have to monitor it as frequently. And I think this is basically the entire account abstraction space is about user experience and improving the user experience of Web3. And I think this is a great project that uses all the best features of Oasis Sapphire to create a greater user experience. So with that, we're going to go and look at one of our other projects from the best category, best apps to scale privacy, which is Rose Derby, and they submitted a video. So take it away.
Hi, I'm Joe Petrokovich. I am the developer for Rose Derby. Rose Derby is a Web3 horse racing betting game that uses Sapphire RNG to randomly determine the results, and it uses Sapphire's configurable privacy to keep the players anonymous but the race statistics public. So I'll switch over to Rose Derby really quick. This is the Rose Derby dApp. Players can create races. They can create incentives so that when you create a race, you're incentivized to promote it and gather as many players as you can, because the race organizer can take a percentage of those winnings. So I've got some questions here. What motivated you to participate in the Web3 Hackathon in regards to Oasis privacy tech? So I had built a dApp before, this dApp here called Whisper and Shout, that uses Emerald and Sapphire to send messages publicly and privately. And I just wanted to challenge myself to build something that uses the RNG and uses the privacy, the configurable privacy a little bit more. So when the hackathon was announced, I just used it as my opportunity to challenge myself. What is the market for your project in terms of application? So it's a betting game, so it targets the GameFi sector. It also targets casinos and gambling, that sort of thing. How was your experience building on Sapphire? So I had a great experience because I built on it before. Some of that knowledge was transferable, but the Sapphire documentation has come a long way, so that was very helpful. The developers in the Discord are very helpful. You can ask questions there, and they'll help you right away. So I had a great experience. Because Sapphire's EVM compatible, most of your knowledge is transferable if you're an Ethereum developer. So very easy to use. So how did the hackathon experience influence your perception or approach to privacy in the Web3 space? So I've been a developer for over a decade now in the finance and insurance industries. So I've built a lot of line of business web apps, and customer data privacy is pretty critical. So I think the main thing I noticed while using Sapphire is you just get end-to-end encryption right out of the box. So just by changing some variables in your contract and using the Sapphire JavaScript library, you don't even have to think. You just get encryption for free. So I was really impressed by that. I think it's a great tool to use if you really need, if confidentiality is really important for you. And let's see, the final question is future plans for your project. So I built this more just for fun, and because it has that gambling aspect where you can actually win real rows, I didn't want to take the risk of deploying it to production because I don't think I'm in a position to handle the legal ramifications of that. So I think for now I'll just keep it as a test project. I know one of the Oasis devs mentioned that my repository is a candidate for like an official example repository, so I'll try to keep it updated in that aspect. So I think if you're trying to build a dApp on Sapphire, I think my project is a go-to project to reference when you're building it. So that's my main. I'll probably keep using it as a sort of a reference project for now, and that is my plan going forward. So that's it for me. Thank you very much. Have a nice night.
Yeah, so Rose Derby was an amazing project, and that, as you mentioned, sort of the repo was very well organized, and it was very, very comprehensive in the sense that you can look at it and really get like a great sense of how to incorporate privacy, as well as Sapphire's native RNG features whenever you're building an application. And so I encourage anyone who might want to use RNG or to build something with gaming to check out their repository. So in terms of like what we're seeing, I think it's just great. We're seeing across different use cases, account abstraction, gaming, and then whether it's like these projects are planning on future plans such as Imperial, and they're trying to sort of go to market to create these sort of account abstraction wallets where they can be a building block for all of DeFi to be used. Even using the Oasis privacy layer to do it cross-chain, or something like Rose Derby, where maybe they don't have plans in the future, but it provides like a great sort of reference material for anyone who wants to build in Sapphire for the future. We thank all these projects for participating in our hackathon and participating in our ecosystem and helping us grow and build these network effects so that we can sort of scale into the future. So I don't know if Diana has any other thoughts on that, but the next sort of category is coming up next.
Yeah, absolutely. Love the fact that now we have so many projects that kind of showcase what Sapphire can do, right? I think it's one of the things that was missing. Now it's not missing anymore. So from now on, I think it's just going to be like a snowball effect once people realize what Sapphire can do, because it really is so innovative and so unique to Web3. Once everyone realizes what Sapphire can do, I think it's going to turn into this awesome snowball effect. Coming up next, we have the last category of the Privacy4Web3 Hackathon, and that is best ecosystem tutorials and standards. I want to invite on stage Mate along with the developers from Research and SpaceStar. Take it away, guys.
Hey, we're back, and we have here the Dappling, which is the developer behind Search and Space Search coming live here. And I would just like to add one thing, about this category. It was interesting because we added this category in the sense that people can join a hackathon even if they don't have, full team behind to develop the app, or maybe they don't feel their skills are on that level yet. But I have to say that even this projects were really great in terms of what they delivered. And yeah, let's maybe hear from you guys a quick intro of who you are and what your project does, and then we can speak more about what brought you here to our hackathon and how you're planning to and continue building. Maybe we first hear from Dappling. If you guys can speak a little bit about yourself and what this project does.
Sure. Hey, thank you very much for having us here. So I'm Krish, and I have my buddy. I can see him. Hey, Arsalan, what's up?
Yeah, Marslan.
So both of us, we built Daplink in the hackathon. Well, I'll just give you a brief history of how it evolved. Yeah. So I think we wanted. Okay, by the way, I'm also a security researcher. So privacy, confidentiality, anonymity is something I really care about. And when I ran into Sapphire, specifically the OSIS network, it kind of really caught my attention. And I wanted to build something on blockchain around privacy. I did not know what. Uh, Google search was a beautiful example, right? Internet search. And while discussing, me and Arsalan, we figured that how about we build a search engine? Well, not an engine, but a search interface which gives anonymity to the user. Nothing gets stored, nothing is seen, everything is encrypted. Sapphire, right? While doing that, we figured, okay, so that's when the community also came into picture. We started talking to Harry, and we realized that we don't have Chainlink support. And without Chainlink, I really cannot make HTTP callouts. And that was the beginning of Dappylink. And that was also how Dappylink was formed. Yeah. So the search interface, though we called it search interface, but it's actually a use case of Dappylink. We built this layer 2 protocol to enable any blockchain to make an HTTP call out confidentially, right? Nothing gets stored. You don't know who's making the call. I mean, of course, I don't need to explain you what Sapphire does. So it's like an anonymous L2 network for HTTP callouts. Let's just call it that way. So that is Dappylink for you.
Awesome, thank you for that. Yeah, I mean, we're pretty familiar. Maybe some of our listeners aren't, but yeah, you can do private calls, private smart contracts, private compute. These are all features that Sapphire enables, and it was a really great project to see it being developed on Sapphire. Maybe we move now to Space Star for a bit, and then we can discuss a little bit more. What were kind of the intricacies, of the development with us. So yeah, Space Star, take it away. Oh, sorry, we can't hear you. I'm not sure if you're muted or
Okay.
there's a.
Can you hear me now?
Perfect. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for having me. My name is Anatus. I'm an integrations engineer. I'm the project lead for Space Star. Okay, a little bit of background. Before the hackathon, I ran into Oasis Sapphire. I was doing some research and I learned about the network. So I was fascinated about the privacy layer and everything that it had to offer. So I think I wrote an article about building a decentralized supply chain on the Oasis system, and it was really, really amazing. And I got a lot of positive feedback from the community. Will shared it on Twitter, so it was massive. The love was massive. So I think along the line, somebody in the community said that, okay, hey, we have a hackathon coming up. We would like you to be part of it. Okay, so that was the journey to the hackathon. So I was like, okay, what am I going to build? What am I going to do? What am I going to not just build any other project? What am I going to bring unique? Initially, I wanted to build a system that allows you to anonymously send transfers. But I was having issues when I now decided, okay, since we already the trend of social fi is everywhere. We have the friend tech and the rest of it. I said, okay, why don't I build something like that on the Oasis network, but now with a higher level of privacy, where everything is anonymous, your privacy is secured. So that is the journey towards building Spacestar. But the goal was not just to build Spacestar. The goal was to educate people about the privacy on Oasis, and as well telling them, okay, this is how we built a product. This is the product we built out of this privacy, and this is the use case. And you too can decide to build on it and emulate what we did, to be able to accomplish so and so. So that was the aim of Spacestar. So Spacestar is basically a decentralized app. It's an application that allows you to contribute. Is a forum community where you come, you share what you're going through, you share about your struggles, your success, and you receive feedback for the community. So because of is a community effort, we reward you with using, there's a token incentive for you. So for every meaningful contribution you make to the community, you are being rewarded an incentive that you can exchange for the
Yeah, there might be some connectivity issues with Spacer, because I think he's on the road. But yeah, as he said, I think there is evangelizing to do, on our side. Everybody that's using Oasis, Sapphire, and our privacy features, and present them in a meaningful way, with these dApps, with demo dApps that we're also building internally from our side, to make it a bit more, you can more grasp it more with the demo, or with the dApp, than with just looking at docs, and try to envision how this confidentiality works, right? So maybe, yeah, Dappling, you can share a little bit more if there were any development, issues that you had, how you solved them, was there any specific tooling that you maybe used for this, or you can also speak to us a little bit about, the future, where you're heading now, what are the plans, whatever you can't reveal, of course. We don't want to intrude on your privacy there.
Sure. So, well, I must say that this was a very pleasant experience, because typically hackathons require a lot of research. I mean, specific research in terms of the technical documentations, finding out how to do the implementation, trial and error, a lot of trial and errors. But surprisingly, the outcome of Dappling was very pleasantly sweet, and primarily because I started out with Harry's videos on YouTube, and they really got me. It was crisp, clear, and to the point. So when we began implementing Dappylink, I did run into an issue to figure out how to actually wrap the providers to result in an end-to-end encrypted mechanism. But I think the moment I sat down at it and looked it up, it just worked. It just worked magically. I think Rose Derby mentioned, right? I mean, it just worked. It was beautiful. It was like it was all there. Just by changing few switches here and there, it just works. And I didn't really run into a lot of issues because we know exactly what we were going after. However, there were some issues with the testnet here and there, but I think that pretty much, I mean, that were very transient. It was there, and the next minute it kind of went away. So we didn't really run into a lot of issues. However, we did run into the fact that we were making HTTP out calls, and we had to encrypt the calls to ensure to prevent any cyber type of attack and or malicious nodes. The fact that we were building an L2 network, I think that was a little tricky, though the implementation eventually turned out to be easy. But the way we architected it, I think we went all over the place, and then we came back to the basics and implemented the confidential layer. I think that was the critical part, and that was also the most interesting part, because I think everything that we are planning to build on top of Dappylink depends on this L2 network, depends on this middleware. And Arsalan, do you want to quickly touch upon our future plans? I mean, well, we don't have a lot at the moment,
Yes.
but we're still figuring out.
Yeah.
We have a bit of a connection issue on that side as well, I guess.
Okay, no problem. I think I'll take that. Hey, so the code is not production ready, right? It's still a hackathon project. A lot of pieces needs to get incorporated to make it work. Our plan is, okay, by the way, just so that everybody is aware, we are currently live on Gitcoin grants. We are collecting funds for Dappylink to take it to the next level. So in case if somebody is watching this, feel free to look up Dappylink under the open source section, and you know what to do. And the next thing is I do have a small percentage of research to complete. Once that is done, I also plan on applying for the Sapphire grants. And basically, let's see how that goes. We're trying our best. We're trying our luck.
Definitely. We'd love to see, you further develop this project. And as you said, Harry's created his tutorials. I watched them as well, and he makes it very simple, clear to the point. And it's great to hear, we put a lot of emphasis on developer experience, right? Because this is our target audience, right? The developers, the makers of apps, right? So we try to make it as simple as possible. The onboarding to the tech, the development itself. So it's great to hear this feedback, and hopefully our engineers will hear it as well. The guys that are behind all those docs, all those videos. Big shout out to them for making them and making the developer lives easier here. Do we hear each other? Are we good now? Okay, so I guess your colleague already spoke a little bit of the future plans with the GitHub grad and all that. Maybe we leave a few words to Spacestar as well to discuss the future plans, because we're gonna have to wrap up this part of the session as well. We still have a video from RPC3, but yeah, Spacestar, oh, did we lose him again?
I think he's on his way. Okay, there you go.
Okay. If you can hear Spacestar, can you share maybe a bit about the future plans you expect?
Yeah, Can you hear me properly? All right. Okay. So basically, our future plan is to make Spacer a cross-messaging dApp. Okay. So so you can be able to log in with any network of your choice and be able to initiate cross-border cross-messaging transactions. Also, we are also looking to integrate account abstraction so that it becomes easier. We can sponsor gas fees about it, so it becomes easier for our users to. It becomes easier to onboard users. Incorporating things like social login, and so users don't have to stress themselves about collecting their wallet, private key, and the rest of it. So we are our future plan is to make the UX, the user experience, more easy to use, so that we can be able to onboard more users, because we are making it a social app. So we want people to be able to log on the app, sign up with their email address, use it, experience the fun, the community. And so we want to make space that easy for people to just be onboarded, so they don't have to go through the stress of their MetaMask, their wallet, and the rest of it. So our aim, one of the priorities we have on our list moving forward, is to incorporate account abstractions and to make Spacester a cross-messaging app. That's basically what we have on our list for now.
Yeah, I would say definitely, if you haven't yet watched Harry's demo from last week, it didn't really work because he had some technical issues with different computers, but we were putting some emphasis on account abstraction as well, because as Will mentioned before, it's getting a lot of attention in the crypto space, and our version of account abstraction enables to have private key pairs, private key storage in the smart contracts directly, so you can control wallets on different chains, from Bitcoin to Polkadot to any EVM chain, from those key pairs that are stored on Sapphire. So yeah, definitely would love to see you incorporate some of those account abstraction primitives into your app. Thank you, guys. We're gonna move now to the RPC3 demo. Demo video. There's going to be, thanks. There's going to be a quick overview of what they did. They're trying to disrupt the classic client-server architecture, which really doesn't apply, in the blockchain space where you have everything autonomous and centralized, right? So it's a very interesting project. And yeah, let's get the video going, and let's see what they did.
Briefly describe your project.
My project is basically a proof of concept that suggests a new architecture for decentralized applications. My vision is that current DApps are limited to financial use cases, and that the paradigm of smart contracts today are not compatible with everyday use cases. By everyday use cases, I mean, for example, calendars, chat apps, but also social apps or even games. Current attempts at bringing these use cases to Web3 today essentially consists of adding financial incentives for end users, which I think is not the right approach, because if we consider, for example, play-to-earn games, well, current solutions allow for tokenizing in-game items, right? And they allow for new business models both for players and developers. So this is good, but it would be even better if the game server itself could be decentralized. Because right now, if the game server shuts down, all tokenized contents instantly lose their utility and only become static collection pieces. A truly decentralized game in this example would be one where the game server itself is run by a decentralized network in a such way that it is impossible to shut down. The issue is that you can't just use a smart contract as a game server. The resources are way too expensive and instructions way too limited. My project for this hackathon is a proof of concept for a solution that would make this type of use cases possible, where basically instead of having only a smart contract as a backend, we would have servers which would work the same way as centralized servers, except there are many of them, owned by independent people all over the world, and all of those servers exchange data through IPFS and report results via a smart contract that acts as a coordinator.
What motivated you to participate in the Privacy4Web3 Hackathon?
It's very funny because, in fact, I had this project in mind a while before I ever heard of the hackathon. I've been a lurking member of the Oasis community for a quite long time, but then when I saw the hackathon announcement, I believed this was the perfect opportunity to take action and make my project come true.
What is the market for your project in terms of applications?
My project is very generic on purpose. It does not target a specific use case. It is intended to serve as a foundation for many everyday use cases, as I explained earlier.
How was your experience while building on Sapphire?
Well, I've never actually built smart contracts before. I had to learn Solidity from scratch first. Fortunately, the language has very familiar syntax, so I had no issues with it. The privacy capabilities offered by Sapphire integrate in a transparent way in Solidity contracts, and I really appreciated that. The main challenge is the fact that the JavaScript libraries to interact with Sapphire had a few bugs that made debugging code a bit difficult sometimes. But that's understandable considering Sapphire is still at an early stage of its existence. Generally speaking, I had fun building this project, and I also appreciate how Oasis engineers are always here to help on the Discord channel.
How did the hackathon experience influence your perception or approach to privacy in the Web3 space?
My experience in this hackathon made me realize how much possibilities smart privacy may unlock. Besides my project, I've seen also many other interesting entries that tackle other problems that Sapphire can solve. I'm looking forward to see the D-apps that will be built on Sapphire mainnet and how much adoption they will bring.
Future plans for your project?
First of all, I think it will be important for me to acquire constructive feedback in order to determine which aspect can be improved, because the design is quite complex. Then I will take some time to enrich the proof of concept and try to make it work with more complex scenarios. In the end, my dream would be to launch an app that is fully autonomous, so I could just disappear and the app would still run and grow, just like what Satoshi managed to achieve with Bitcoin.
Thought I was muted. So yeah, how did it look from your side, Ayana? What do you think?
Everything looked great. Today's event actually made me super excited. Wrapping up this hackathon made me super excited about planning the next one. So keep an eye on our socials because there's a new one coming up next year. I don't have any details yet, but as soon as we do, we're gonna share them with you guys.
I think we got a lot of good, demo dApps now that continue to build, or not just demo dApps, but projects that are still evolving from the initial idea that they got during their hackathon. So it's great to see the development. And I can't wait for more. I think the path is just upwards and onwards. So yeah, great session.
Same here. This is super exciting, and hopefully we can see some of these projects maybe applying for grants, or just like continuing building. Taking advantage of everything that Sapphire has to offer. Before we go, I actually want to let everyone here know that our end of year town hall is coming up. So that's going to be beginning of December. And I'm not sure if it's announced yet. I don't think it was announced yet on our socials, but the day and time will be soon enough. And that's going to serve as a final end of year update from our team to our community, taking the time to everything that happened, basically.
It's going to be it's going to be nice to reflect a little bit on the past year, because I think this past year was really great in terms of all the developments on the technical side, on the community side, the projects that we're building. And I hope this dApps that we have now here inspire more builders to check out Sapphire, check out OPL, see how they can utilize it in their dApps, and make their dApps more privacy focused, centered around user data sovereignty, that natural right to privacy. So yeah, I'm excited for the future, and see you guys soon.
Same here. See you guys soon. And thank you for today.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everyone.